Hey Bobcats, Mr. Flighto here. Welcome back to what will surely be another great week at the Helena Middle School. I hope you've enjoyed the last couple weeks hearing some of my academic tips, hearing from some of your teachers about how to academically be Bob. 1/4 of being Bob is being a learner, and that is the whole reason we are here. And I'm hoping you guys are liking these tips that we are sharing with you. I have 5 more tips today, so let's buckle in and get attentive and get ready to learn about how to be Bob academically. Also, if you feel like doing some volunteer work for Mr. Blaz raking leaves, please go down the 7th grade neighborhood and talk to him. All right, without further ado, let's get going on Bob Lesson Academic Success Part 3. And as always, let's make it a great week at the Helena Middle School. All right, and we are off and running on Bob Lesson Academic Success Part 3. But first, let's be our best this week at HMS. Let's be safe, let's be responsible, let's be respectful, and let's be a learner. All right, we are on to tip number 6, which deals with homework. Here at HMS, we have advisor time, which is a wonderful thing, but we got to be strategic and smart about how we use our advisor time. Use advisor time to get questions answered if you have questions from teachers. Use advisor time to get clarification from teachers on your homework if you don't fully understand it or you need additional help on it. We have a lot of homework in 2016 that requires the internet or requires computers. If you don't have the internet or computers at home, make sure you're using advisor time to use one of the hundreds of Chromebooks we have here at HMS or other technology during your advisor time. Finally, use that same Chromebook to look at your PowerSchool, see if you have missing assignments. And you get a missing assignments sheet every single week. Let's make sure we're getting that taken care of. If you get all your homework caught up, and you don't have any missing assignments, go look on PowerSchool and see if you need to get corrections or makeup work done on something. Finally, with homework at home, find a comfortable spot that works for you. Some students need complete silence. I'm one of those people. If I have background stuff going on, I get distracted way too easy. Other students like background noise or a white noise, a TV, television, radio, music going on. Figure out what works for you. Some students like to do their homework later at night after they've went to ball practice and taken a shower and had their dinner. Some students need to do it right after school because if you're like me, as the night goes on, you get more and more tired and you want to wind down for the day. So which is right for you? The answer is there is no right answer. What works for Johnny might not work for Sally. What works for myself might not work for Miss Pandis. Figure out what works for you, the right time in the environment, and make a dedicated time and environment decision and get it done. Tip number 7, be active in class discussions. Being active in class discussion helps you stay engaged and helps you keep your mind from straying. And I know 50 minutes is a long time for many of you to focus. If you're actively engaged in the class discussion, that 50 minutes is going to go a lot faster. Now let me clarify, this doesn't mean being active talking with your friends or being active trying to get your friends' attention. This is something that gets our Bobcats in more problematic situations. Off task is not a good thing. Let's stay on task, and the best way to stay on task is to remain active in class discussions. Don't be afraid of not knowing the answer or saying something stupid. Your teachers want you asking questions. They want to know if what they are teaching is getting through and you are understanding the material. Being active in class discussion helps them know that, and asking questions helps get that clarified so that if you're not on the right track, your teachers can get you on the right track. I just covered this. There's no such thing as a stupid question or comment. Okay, there's a extremely high chance someone in your class has the same question. Now, we do have some stupid questions and some stupid comments going on in classes, but 99 out of 100 times, that's not pertaining to what you were actually talking about in class. So if you're active and you have a question or a comment about the material you guys are talking about in class, that is a good thing, and ask it. There's no such thing as a stupid comment unless the comment is off subject or off task. We got to stay on task while we are in class. Tip number 8, be open to and ask for help when you need it. Every person in every aspect of life needs help from time to time. Myself, Mr. McKay, Mr. Boyle, your teachers, your parents included. Needing help does not mean you are not a good student, does not mean you are dumb or not smart. It is not only okay, but a reality that we all have weaknesses that we need help from time to time. I have tons of weaknesses. One of my weaknesses is technology stuff, and I go ask Mr. Myers all the time, or mechanical stuff. I got a neighbor, me and Mr. Kepler, shout out Mr. Kepler, we have a neighbor that's really good at mechanical stuff, and I lean on him all the time. It's normal. That's okay. If you do not understand something, ask for help. It is your responsibility to ask for help, clarification, or assistance. Your teachers are very smart people, but they are not mind readers. And they do not know that you need help a lot of times unless you open your mouth and you ask for help. So please, if you do need help with something, your teachers want to know. One of my favorite quotes is, to know your weaknesses is actually a strength. And what I'm saying is we have to be aware of our weaknesses in life so that if we are in a situation that is exposing our weaknesses, like mine, I'm bad with mechanical stuff, trying to fix my lawnmower. I know that's one of my weaknesses, then I reach out for help. Ask yourself, we just got midterms. What am I already doing well in terms of my academic success? And those things you're already doing well, let's keep it up. What are my weaknesses that I need to improve upon to achieve my academic goals? Let's make a plan to improve. If you're looking at your grades and your midterms came out and they're not looking so hot, come down, talk to myself, Miss Pandis, talk to your parents, talk to your teachers, make a plan to improve. Tip number 9, be responsible. As part of our Bob Universals is being responsible and show personal accountability. Newsflash, 6th graders, you are no longer in elementary school. You are now a middle schooler, and it is no longer your parents or your guardians or your grandparents or your teacher's job to hold your hand and make sure you are learning and getting all of your work turned in. With the reality that you are a middle schooler now comes the expectation that we step our game up and we handle our business. Be engaged in your own learning. Come to school every day ready to rock and roll and ready to learn something new. If you miss school, the work that you missed is your responsibility to get caught up. I cannot believe how many kids I come across that they miss school and they think that, oh, whatever we did, it just vanishes into thin air and I don't have to do it. It doesn't vanish into thin air. It is still your responsibility, and that's part of that piece of using advisor time responsibly and going and figuring out what you missed. And this is the one thing that gets students behind: missing school and not getting their work caught up. I talked about this in the earlier lesson. If you don't have technology at home, use your advisor time and school resources like the Chromebooks strategically and efficiently. If we don't have technology at home, we got to really make use of coming in before school, staying after school if you can. You can stay in at lunch. Come talk to myself, Miss Panis. We'll get you in the net room at lunch to get extra time in with Chromebooks, or that advisor time. Monitor your own progress on PowerSchool. If you need your PowerSchool login, you can come see myself or Miss Pandis and we can get that information to you. Long story short, folks, your school is your responsibility. Own it. Take ownership over your own learning. My final tip is tip number 10, be attentive. When you step in the classroom, you should place the entirety of your attention and focus on when or what's important now. Recess and lunch isn't important when you're in class. Issues with friends isn't important. We got to block that out and put that to the side. Upcoming sports practice or music practice or art practice is not important. Upcoming game event isn't important. Being attentive to class material and your teacher is important. Okay, let's give this a try. This will be fun.
Count how many times the players wearing white passed the ball. The correct answer is 16 passes. Did you spot the gorilla? For people who haven't seen or heard about a video like this before, about half missed the gorilla. If you knew about the gorilla, you probably saw it. But did you notice the curtain changing color or the player on the black team leaving the game? Let's rewind and watch it again. Here comes the gorilla, and there goes a player, and the curtain is changing from red to gold.
All right, let's continue on that. That's one of my favorite videos. So let's talk about what gorillas in the classroom look like and why are gorillas in the classroom so disruptive. Gorillas in the classroom are anything that takes the attention off of what your teacher is trying to teach and takes focus away from other students learning and takes focus away from what the teacher is teaching. And what are gorillas in the classroom? What do they look like? Students talking out of turn, students making inappropriate or irritating sounds and noises, students taking other students' attention off of learning. So we've got to be laser light focused and attentive in the classroom, and please do not be a gorilla in the classroom. It hurts your teacher's ability to teach. It takes away from your peers' learning, and it takes away from your learning. All right, this week's quote of the week is successful people find a way, unsuccessful people find an excuse. Successful people take these tips, implement it into their academics, and be successful. Unsuccessful people put the blame on other people, give me a reason why, give themselves a reason why they can't. Hey, Bobcats, one last quick note. I got my helper here, Pritz. Um, I'm a dog lover. I love dogs. I've got a sweet one right here. And we are having more and more students with their service dogs in our building, which I think is awesome. Service dogs help some of our students be their best. And it's really important that we know, as much as we love our dogs and petting dogs and playing with them and maybe giving them treats, it's really important that when we have students with service dogs in the building, that we respect that the dogs need to be left alone. They're working, they don't need petted, and they don't need treats, and we need to respect them and their handlers or their students. Um, and so that's something that's kind of new in our building, but it's something that I think is going to continue. And so I just wanted to put a quick note on that. Make a great week, everybody. All right, that brings us to this week's Jelly Bean Question of the Week winners. Marley Fox, Audrey Knox, Talia Demirs, Rose Ellis, and Tyson Schulte. The answer to last week's Jelly Bean Question of the Week was yesterday, today, and tomorrow, using 3 consecutive days without using Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. All right, this week's Jelly Bean Question of the Week, using 8 eights, that means the number 8 times, write an equation that adds up to 1,000. So an example would be, here I use the number 8 3 times, and this equals 72. I need an equation using 8 eighths that adds up to 1,000. If you think you know, submit your answer to the Bob box. Tune in next week to see if you're a winner. All right, Bobcats, let's go make it a great week at the Helena Middle School.